Kyle Larson now has gone to the garage, and that is a shame for that 23-year-old driver from Elk Grove, California. On the day, led 50 laps, and again had the look of a winner before that left rear tire went away.
Boy, you talk about a money stop. This could be it for Austin Dillon and crew. Starting on the pole as the fastest car in practice, as qualifying was canceled earlier, not because of necessarily a rain out. It wasn't raining at the racetrack. In fact, it hadn't rained at the racetrack for about 4 hours before. It just took forever to get the racetrack dry. In fact, Mark, if we still look, it looks like there's still damp spots on the track, but nothing that's been impeding the progress of this race here.
Now, Austin Dillon started from the pole, but Brad Keselowski took the lead, led the first 8 laps. Dillon then led the next 46. He is yet to get back to the number 1 spot again until that last pit stop. Now we'll have to see if he can hang on. And again, Dillon's had a very successful year on the Xfinity Series. 4 wins, 3 of those on 1.5-mile tracks. He's trying to get number 4.
You're right about that. Swept Charlotte, won at Las Vegas Motor Speedway earlier this season. And then, of course, the only win not on a 1.5-mile track happened for him at Daytona International Speedway in the July race. So Austin Dillon looking to do what he does very well, and that's win on 1.5-mile tracks.
And he's done it different ways this year, Brad. He led 183 out of 200 laps at Vegas, and then in capturing the checkered flag at Daytona in July, led only 9. I mean, the bottom line, you got to lead the last one. And so he's done it both ways. He's dominated, and he's come from behind.
Yeah, that is exactly right. That's all you got to do is lead that last lap here, and let's see if Austin Dillon can do that. It's going to be a tough battle because we know that Kevin Harvick, when he passes a car, he can just rocket past them. But Brad Keselowski is also sitting right there. And look, the front row, when we come back to the restart, Mark Guerra, and we're about to get the 1-to-go signal this time by, the front row looks exactly like it did here at lap 183 as it did at lap 1.
And it's going to be exciting. A number of cars using the wave round. J.J. Yeley, Eric McClure, Kyle Busch among that group. And Kyle would be in the mix if not for the fact, if you just joined us, had transmission problems, lost first, second, and third gear. So he's trying to motor on to the end of this race with only 4th gear. So that certainly takes him out of contention. So let's set the lead lap cars for you as we get set to go back to green flag racing. We'll do that with 16 laps to go. Austin Dillon, the leader. Brad Keselowski second. Kevin Harvick third. 4th, Eric Jones. 5th, Ty Dillon. 6th, Regan Smith. 7th, Brian Scott. 8th, Daniel Suarez. Chase Elliott 9th. 10th, Elliott Sadler.
And 11th is Chris Buescher. 12th is Brendan Gaughan. 13th, Ryan Reed. Ryan Sieg is 14th. Ross Chastain is 15th. 16th, Jeremy Clements. Dakota Armstrong, 17th. The last car on the lead lap, Kyle Busch, in 18th. And they're stacked up behind that pace car, Pat Patterson.
Yes, they are, and the fans are on their feet right now and ready to see how this one is going to turn out. We got ourselves a little shootout at sundown here in the Lone Star State. Here they come. It'll be Austin Dillon down on the bottom and Brad Keselowski on the outside of that front row. Then it's Kevin Harvick and Eric Jones, Ty Dillon and Regan Smith, Brian Scott and Daniel Suarez. Who's going to get the win? We're about to find out right now. Here they come looking for green.
They are about to hit the restart zone. Let's see when Austin Dillon goes across that first red line, and he is back in the gas. Austin Dillon pulling out in front of Brad Keselowski with a great push from Kevin Harvick as they race off into 1.
Well, how they end up coming off turn 2 could determine the outcome of this race. Austin Dillon sat on the pole. He leads off turn 2. Side-by-side fight for the second position between Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski.
Dillon with the lead. The battle's for second. Harvick on the outside. Now it's 3 wide coming down the backstretch. Here comes Eric Jones. He dives to the bottom of the racetrack. Jones moves up to second place as they race all 4.
Kevin Harvick backs out of the middle groove. He drops back to the 4th spot. So with 15 laps to go, it's Austin Dillon the leader. Keselowski second, then side by side, it's Jones and Harvick.
The move didn't pay off for Jones. It was a momentary move for him. Here comes Brad Keselowski. He'll look to the outside of Austin Dillon. Dillon still leading off turn 2.
The top 4 cars running nose to tail now down the backstretch. Here they come. Keselowski trying to size up the leader. Austin Dillon shuts the door at the bottom. Eric Jones holding onto the bumper of Keselowski.
Top 4 nose to tail right now. Austin Dillon in front of Brad Keselowski. Eric Jones wants that 3rd spot, but Kevin Harvick is going to take away the 3rd spot from Eric Jones side by side into 1.
All afternoon, Harvick has needed long runs to get to the front. Jones will try to battle back to the outside of Kevin Harvick. Austin Dillon, 3 car lengths over Keselowski.
Jones almost drove it into the wall. He'll lose a lot of spots there. Meanwhile, Harvick moves up to that third spot. Jones is going to be passed on the inside by Regan Smith, while up front, once again, 2 cars advantage for Austin Dillon.
13 laps to go. Let's go quickly to the garage with Brett McMillan.
Here with Kyle Larson. I know you had the tire rug most of the day. Any notice that it had gone that bad?
No, the first 2 runs probably it was really bad, and I think they got the fender pulled out where I didn't really have any smoke the last couple runs, and so I don't really know what caused the last one, but I just hate it for everybody on this team. Hate it for Parker Store and Hydrodyne. They had a lot of people here hanging out today, and thought we were going to get them a win, but yeah, it just didn't work out. It's kind of in the story of our season where you run good and something happens at the end, and it just kind of all balled up in one today. So but thanks to Target, Chip Gas Racing, H. Scott, Ineos, Parker Store again, and I'll run the next 2 Xfinity races. Maybe we can get a win then.
Here's a battle for the lead in turn 3.
Side by side, Keselowski on the bottom. It's Austin Dillon on the outside. They almost touched coming into 3.
There's 11 laps to go. Nearly a dead heat at the stripe. It's Keselowski on the bottom with a slight advantage, but here's Dillon, and now Harvick will join the battle.
This thing a long way from over. A little twitch for Brad Keselowski. He stays hard in the throttle. 3 wide off turn 2. Look at Harvick to the outside.
Harvick now on the outside, down the backstretch. He's going to make a move on Dillon. Dillon tries to hang on. Meanwhile, Keselowski up front. Here comes Austin Dillon. He'll drive down to the white line. Harvick climbs upstairs. Can't make it work. Dillon will move back to second.
Brad Keselowski had the great bottom groove on that one. He takes the lead. We're going to have 10 laps to go this time by. Austin Dillon being shoved into turn 1 by Kevin Harvick.
Brad Keselowski has to love this fight for second. It's enabled him to pull it out to about a 5-car length lead. Austin Dillon still hanging on over Kevin Harvick, but Harvick is fighting hard.
Harvick right on the bumper. He's got a mirror full of Austin Dillon right in front of him. Dillon now holds on to that one spot. He's about a half a car length ahead. Meanwhile, the leader only 2 car lengths out in front.
Don't look now, but Eric Jones now is mounting a comeback. 9 laps to go. Keselowski the lead. 2 back to Dillon. 2 back to Harvick. 3 to Jones.
After nearly hitting the wall about 3 laps ago, Eric Jones got that car back together. He's very much in the hunt. Off turn 2, it is Brad Keselowski over Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, and Eric Jones.
Double deuce down the middle of the backstretch now. Once again, Keselowski about a 4-car length lead out in front of Austin Dillon. 2 car lengths back to Kevin Harvick. They begin to work some lap traffic now, which could become a factor on 4.
Top 4 easily get past the lap cars of Mike Harmon and Derek White. Here's Brad Keselowski. He's got about an 8-car length advantage over Austin Dillon. Then it's Kevin Harvick and Eric Jones.
With 12 miles to go, Brad Keselowski pulling away now by about 10 car lengths over Austin Dillon. Harvick's charge on Dillon no longer seems to be a factor off turn 2.
Once again, it's Keselowski with about a 7-car length lead over second place. Harvick trying his best to find a line that can pull him back up to that second spot battle.
Brad Keselowski hoping that the 6th time today he has led this race is going to be the final time. 7 laps left. He's in 1.
Keselowski has been in the hunt all afternoon, never out of the top 5, appeared for a while to have maybe the 2nd or 3rd best car, but at the end, he continues to drive away from Austin Dillon.
Down the backstretch once again is the Ford of Brad Keselowski in control. Harvick now trying to close down on second place Austin Dillon. Eric Jones not making any advances there, and Ty Dillon running the bottom of the racetrack in 6th.
6 laps to go this time by. Brad Keselowski pulling away from Austin Dillon. Kevin Harvick trying that high line to try and get around Austin Dillon as they head to 1.
Keselowski fastest yesterday in every practice and in qualifying for the Cup race, but who would have suspected at the end of this race he would be the dominant machine. He continues to pull ahead.
Here comes Harvick. He gets another good run off of turn number 2. Now he'll close down on the second spot. He's going to try to take it away from Austin Dillon. Harvick goes up the racetrack. Dillon hugging the bottom line around the bottom of the racetrack. Can't make anything work this time by.
Kevin Harvick has to make that pass quickly if he has any chance at all, as slim as it is, to catch the leader. He'll now shove Austin Dillon into turn 1 again with 5 to go.
The lights are on. The sun is not quite down, but the track fully in shade, and it seems to be to the advantage of Brad Keselowski as the fight continues for second.
Side by side, Harvick on the outside. Austin Dillon not wanting to give up that second spot. He battles hard. 2 Chevys going at it now. Harvick will have to move around the lap car to make the move on the number 33. Can't make
make it work.
4 laps to go this time by. Brad Keselowski with a very comfortable lead as the battle rages for second. This time the advantage for Kevin Harvick.
Role reversal. Kevin Harvick goes to the bottom. Austin Dillon forced to the top side. Looks like Harvick may have the advantage. Can he swing up in front of Austin Dillon on 2? Yes, he will take the second spot.
Kevin Harvick's got the spot, but is Austin Dillon just going to let him go? No. Latches right onto the back bumper of Harvick. He'll challenge him again coming into 3. Only a half a car length separate those two. Eric Jones begins to catch up in 4th.
So with 3 laps to go, Kevin Harvick running in the second spot, but over 1 second behind leader Brad Keselowski. Let's see if he can make up ground.
Brad just needs to make no mistakes and hope for no cautions as he's got this thing in hand. It now appears that Kevin Harvick is easing away from Austin Dillon in the 3rd spot, who enjoys about a 5-car length advantage of the fourth place machine of Jones.
Brad Keselowski nice and smooth now, right in the middle of the racetrack in 3 and 4. No pressure from behind. As Rob just said, just don't make any mistakes.
Now 2 laps to go. Brad Keselowski, a nice, clean racetrack in front of him as he crosses the start-finish line. Kevin Harvick sitting in 3rd, then it's Austin Dillon and Eric Jones.
Keselowski will contend with no lap traffic in the final lap and a half. Again, Harvick goes to the top side, but I think it's going to be futile as Keselowski continues to stretch it.
No pressure for the leader. Brad Keselowski down the backstretch here at Texas Motor Speedway. Looks really good in his Ford, right in the middle of the racetrack. He'll drive right through the center of 3 and 4 and back looking for the white flag.
With clear racetrack up ahead, Brad Keselowski will take the white flag, head back to turn 1 for the final time.
The Penske Ford was strong all afternoon long, but it was at its best when it counted most. The last restart to the advantage of Brad Keselowski as he continues to build.
Brad Keselowski making the best of his Saturday here at Texas Motor Speedway. Down the backstretch for the very last time today. No pressure from behind. No pressure up ahead. Just stand up in the gas and head for home here in Texas.
For the 2nd time this season and the 34th time in his career, Brad Keselowski will visit victory lane in an Xfinity race, winning the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge.
He'll beat Kevin Harvick by 1.1 seconds. Austin Dillon 3rd, Eric Jones 4th, 5th Ty Dillon. Then it's Daniel Suarez, Brian Scott, Chase Elliott in the 8th position. 9th is Regan Smith, Elliott Sadler 10th, and the point leader, Chris Buescher, struggles but winds up in the 11th spot on the lead lap. So again, he'll lose some points today, but it could have been a whole lot worse for Chris Buescher. He'll still have a little bit of a cushion heading into the final 2 Xfinity Series races of the season. We'll have more on that in just a bit. But Brad Keselowski led this race 6 times, and he led the most important laps here at the end. And that car, when he needed it to be the quickest car on the racetrack, Brad, he found the right time to do it.
That he absolutely did. Now, Brad Keselowski actually bypassed the start-finish line. He's grabbing the American flag on pit road, and that's what Brad Keselowski does. NASCAR does want them to get to victory lane fairly quick because this race did start about 20 minutes late due to the track drawing efforts, but that's not going to stop Keselowski from celebrating on the front straightaway, Mark.
Well, that'll give TV a chance to interview the top 5 as well as us. So, again, a great job by Brad Keselowski. Heartbreaker for Kyle Larson. Had this race in hand at the end, lost the left rear tire after a tire rub. So, again, this race I thought was his, and then Brad Keselowski seized the opportunity and didn't let it get away.
Boy, Brad Keselowski, I think, is going to try and burn him all the way down the front straightaway. Now he just plants those tires just past the start-finish line with a big burnout, American flag out the window. Brad Keselowski, the winner here at Texas Motor Speedway in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. And let's hear from the rest of the top 5. We'll go down to pit road in Brett McMillan.